Hi everybody, welcome back to English Podcast for Listening and Speaking. My name is Lisa, and it's such a gentle pleasure to have you here with me today. In this quiet space, we explore the beauty of the English language, not through textbooks and rigid rules, but through stories, shared moments, and calm reflection. My hope is that each episode feels like a soft conversation, where learning unfolds naturally, like a quiet journey. If this episode brings you a moment of peace, helps a new word settle into your mind, or simply makes you feel a little more confident in English today, I'd be so grateful if you liked, subscribed, or left a kind comment. Your gentle support truly means the world. Now, get comfortable, maybe pour some tea, and let's begin. Movies are such a fascinating part of our lives, aren't they? They're more than just flickering images on a screen, more than simply a way to pass the time. They are, in a quiet way, portals. We step into them, and for a few hours, we are transported. We live another life, feel other people's joys and sorrows, experience different worlds. And when we emerge, sometimes we're changed, even just a little. A movie can stir up so many emotions within us. A sense of deep wonder, or a quiet sadness that lingers, or perhaps even pure, bubbling joy. They can make us reflect on our own lives, our own relationships, our own dreams, in ways we didn't anticipate. And sometimes, what we see on screen, or how we react to it, can gently, almost imperceptibly, spill over into our real lives. It can spark conversations that go deeper than we expect, uncover feelings we didn't know were there. And sometimes, surprisingly, those conversations can even turn into unexpected disagreements. It's a curious thing, isn't it? How a shared experience, meant purely for entertainment, can subtly reveal hidden feelings, or even light a small, unexpected spark of conflict between people we deeply care about. This is exactly what happened recently to a couple I know, Sarah and Tom. They've been together for quite some time now, building a life filled with comfortable routines and shared moments. Like many couples, their evenings often included a quiet ritual of watching something together. Movie night, whether at home or out at the cinema, was one of those comfortable rhythms for them. They'd usually pick a film together, or take turns choosing, navigating their different tastes with a gentle compromise. On this particular evening, it was Sarah's turn to pick. She had been truly looking forward to a new romantic drama that had just premiered. It was a story woven around themes of deep connection, of finding love and understanding later in life, and of embracing the sometimes messy, yet beautiful, reality of long-term relationships. To her, it sounded incredibly moving, a story full of warmth, vulnerability, and genuine human emotion. She imagined feeling a shared sense of tenderness with Tom as they watched it unfold. Tom, well, he wasn't quite as enthusiastic. He typically gravitated towards action films, perhaps a thrilling mystery, or a historical epic. Romantic dramas weren't usually his first choice. But he loved Sarah, and he went along, perhaps with a subtle sigh that only she could sense, but he went. As they settled into their seats in the hushed, darkened cinema, Sarah found herself completely immersed. She felt every twist and turn of the characters' journey, their quiet struggles, their poignant triumphs. She felt a deep, almost personal connection to their story. Tom, however, seemed distant. She noticed him shifting slightly in his seat from time to time, a quiet fidget, and once or twice, she caught him subtly checking his watch in the dim light. When the final credits finally began to roll, and they stepped out from the darkness of the cinema into the cool, gentle evening air, Sarah felt a quiet lightness in her heart, a soft, lingering emotion from the film. She turned to Tom, ready to share a quiet moment of reflection, perhaps to talk about the characters, or how the story had gently touched them both. But Tom's first words were not at all what she expected. There was a certain subtle tension in his voice, a hint of impatience that pricked at her a little. And that's precisely where our story, and our deeper exploration of language, truly begins. Because what started as a seemingly simple difference in opinion about a movie quickly, and surprisingly, transformed into something much deeper between them. It was in those quiet, initial moments, walking home in the crisp evening air, that their everyday words began to take on a new, unexpected weight. Simple phrases, casual reactions, and even the nuances of their tones of voice, became suddenly crucial. Each word, each turn of phrase that followed, would either subtly build a bridge of understanding, or, surprisingly, deepen a divide between them. This is where we truly begin to see how profoundly vital everyday language is, especially when emotions are stirred, when feelings are delicate, or when something beneath the surface begins to emerge. The argument that unfolded, surprising as it was, became a poignant, almost quiet window into how people truly communicate, or sometimes, how they struggle to. It showed how feelings are expressed, or sometimes, how they are painfully misunderstood, all through the incredible, yet complex, power of language. It became a story, in its own way, of how even a seemingly harmless chick flick can unexpectedly open up a deeper conversation about feelings, about expectations, about gender dynamics, and even, perhaps, about unspoken past hurts. This scenario, this unexpected argument between Sarah and Tom, will be our gentle guide as we slowly explore some very common, yet remarkably powerful, English words and phrases. Words that might seem simple on their own, but in the subtle heat of a moment, carry immense emotional weight. So, let's lean in a little closer now, and listen to how their story quietly unfolds, and what we can learn from it about the magic and profound complexity of human language. And so, as Sarah and Tom walked from the cinema into the quiet, starlit evening, a different kind of drama began to unfold between them. Sarah, still feeling the gentle warmth of the movie, turned to Tom, her heart open, ready to share that quiet, tender connection. But Tom's voice, when it came, was different. There was a subtle lightness to it, but a lightness that felt a little sharp around the edges. He said, with what seemed like a sigh, "Well, that was quite the chick flick, wasn't it?" Now, that phrase, chick flick, is interesting, isn't it? It's a very common, informal way to describe a certain type of movie. When someone says, chick flick, they're usually talking about a film that is very romantic, or very emotional, or maybe a drama that focuses a lot on relationships, and that is generally thought to appeal more to women. It's often used in a slightly casual, sometimes even a little bit dismissive, way, implying that the movie is perhaps a bit too soft or sentimental for some. Imagine a group of friends deciding what to watch. One might say, "Oh, I don't want to watch another chick flick tonight. Let's pick an action movie." Or you might hear someone say, "My sister loves all those chick flicks with happy endings." It's not necessarily a negative word, but it carries a certain light-hearted, sometimes almost teasing, connotation about the film's emotional depth or genre. It's a way to categorize films that touch the heart, perhaps, more than they excite the mind with explosions or complex plots. Let's try saying it slowly together. Chick flick. Again, chick flick. Can you say it aloud? Chick flick. When Tom said, chick flick, Sarah's quiet warmth began to cool, just a little. She paused, and then she said, her voice a little tighter now, "Oh, so now you're being sarcastic?" Ah, sarcastic. This is such a fascinating word, isn't it? To be sarcastic means you say something that is the opposite of what you actually mean, often with a hint of irony or a teasing tone. The real meaning comes from your tone of voice, or the situation. You might say something like, "Oh, that was so helpful," when someone has actually made a situation worse, and your tone of voice tells them you're not really saying they were helpful at all. You're actually expressing frustration or annoyance. Think of it this way. If it's raining very heavily, and someone steps outside and says, "What beautiful weather we're having," they are being sarcastic. They don't actually think the weather is beautiful. They're pointing out the bad weather in a humorous, or sometimes critical, way. It's a way of using words to convey a hidden, often opposite, meaning. In arguments, sarcasm can feel like a subtle jab, a way to hurt or mock without directly saying something negative. Let's try this word slowly. Sarcastic. Again, feel the sound. Sarcastic. Now, your turn. Sarcastic. Tom, perhaps sensing Sarah's hurt, but also feeling his own quiet irritation about the movie, continued. "I'm just saying," he replied, "it's hard not to criticize a movie like that when it's so predictable." To criticize someone or something means to express your disapproval, or to point out what you see as faults or problems. When you criticize, you're often evaluating something and finding it lacking in some way. It can be about a movie, like Tom did, saying it wasn't good or had flaws. Or it can be about a person, perhaps criticizing their choices or their behavior. For example, a teacher might criticize a student's essay, pointing out where it could be improved. Or you might criticize a restaurant if the food wasn't good. It's about offering an assessment that highlights the negative aspects. Sometimes, when we criticize someone we love, it can feel like a direct attack, even if that wasn't the intention. Let's say this word gently. Criticize. Feel it. Criticize. Now, you try. Criticize. Sarah, feeling the sting of his words, and the dismissiveness in his tone, replied, her voice now edged with a quiet frustration, "You know, sometimes you're just unbearable when you get like this." Unbearable. This is a strong word, isn't it? When something is unbearable, it means it's so bad, so annoying, so difficult, or so painful that you simply cannot tolerate it anymore. It's too much to bear, too much to handle. Sarah felt that Tom's attitude, in that moment, was truly beyond what she could quietly endure. Imagine a very loud, constant noise that you just can't escape. That noise might become unbearable. Or if you have a terrible headache that just won't go away, you might describe the pain as unbearable. It means it's reached a point where you feel you can't stand it for another moment. When you say a person is unbearable, it means their behavior, their mood, or their presence is so irritating or difficult that you find it impossible to be around them or put up with them. Let's try this word. Unbearable. Slowly again. Unbearable. Your turn. Say it aloud. Unbearable. The argument continued, a quiet ebb and flow of hurt feelings and unspoken frustrations. Sarah, trying to reach a deeper understanding, eventually said, "Maybe if you were more in touch with your feelings, you'd understand why that movie meant something to me." In touch with your feelings, or sometimes, in touch with your feminine side. This is a beautiful phrase, isn't it? To be in touch with your feelings means you are aware of your emotions, you understand what you are feeling, and you are comfortable expressing those emotions. It means you're not hiding your sadness, your joy, your anger, or your vulnerability. You are connected to your inner emotional world. For example, someone who cries easily at a sad movie might be described as in touch with their feelings. Or a person who can talk openly about their fears as in touch with their emotions. When we say someone needs to be more in touch with their feminine side, it's often an encouragement for them to embrace qualities traditionally associated with women, such as empathy, nurturing, emotional expression, or intuition, regardless of their gender. It's about allowing a fuller range of human experience and expression to surface. Let's practice this longer phrase slowly. In touch with your feelings. Again, softly. In touch with your feelings. And now, in touch with your feminine side. Your turn. In touch with your feelings. And in touch with your feminine side. As their conversation deepened into the quieter, more painful corners of their relationship, Sarah, perhaps out of frustration or a desire to provoke a reaction, made a cutting remark, hinting at a perceived shallowness in Tom's past. She implied that he only seemed to understand superficial connections, saying, "You probably prefer those shallow stories, like a one-night stand." This phrase, one-night stand, refers to a casual sexual encounter that lasts only for a single night, without any expectation of a continuing relationship or emotional connection. It implies a purely physical interaction, devoid of deeper feelings or commitment. When Sarah brought this up, she wasn't necessarily accusing Tom of anything specific in the present, but rather using it as a sharp, painful metaphor to suggest his general approach to relationships or emotional depth was too fleeting, too uncommitted, or too superficial, just like a one-night stand would be. It's a phrase used to describe a brief, unattached liaison. Let's say it slowly. One-night stand. Again, softly. One-night stand. Now, your turn. One-night stand. Feeling cornered, and perhaps a little stung by Sarah's deeper accusations, Tom finally retorted, "Well, don't pretend you're a saint, Sarah. You're no saint, either." When someone says another person is no saint, they mean that person is not perfect. They have flaws, they make mistakes, or they have done things that are not morally pure or ideal. A saint is typically a very good, very holy person, someone who is without fault. So to say someone is no saint is a very common, gentle way of pointing out that they have their own imperfections, their own human failings, just like everyone else. It's a way of saying, you're not innocent, you're not perfect, so don't act like you are. For example, if someone is always criticizing others for small mistakes, you might gently remind them, "Well, you're no saint yourself." It's a common phrase to bring someone back down to earth, to remind them of their own humanity and imperfections. Let's say this phrase, softly. No saint. Again, no saint. Now, you try. No saint. And so, these words, seemingly simple, became the fabric of Sarah and Tom's unexpected argument. Each word, each phrase, carried a deeper weight, revealing not just their surface disagreement about a movie, but also their hidden feelings, their expectations, and their individual ways of understanding love and connection. It's truly remarkable how a few chosen words can unfold such deep emotions, isn't it? As we listen to Sarah and Tom, navigating this emotional landscape with their chosen words, it's interesting to notice something else at play. Something often quite subtle, yet incredibly powerful in how we express ourselves, especially when feelings are stirred. I'm talking about those small, unassuming words we call modal verbs. Words like should, could, might, and will. These aren't just dry grammar rules. They are tools that allow us to add layers of nuance to our communication, to express opinions, offer advice, suggest possibilities, or declare intentions, even in the heat of a moment. They shape the very texture of a conversation, especially one filled with emotion or disagreement. Let's think about should. In a quiet moment after their argument, perhaps Sarah thought to herself, "Tom should have been more understanding. He shouldn't have dismissed my feelings so easily." Here, should expresses an expectation, an idea of what was the right or ideal thing for Tom to do. It carries a sense of gentle obligation or what was fitting. Tom, on the other hand, might have felt Sarah shouldn't have reacted so strongly to his casual comment about the chick flick. When we use should in an argument, we're often implying that the other person isn't meeting our expectations, or perhaps isn't behaving in the way we believe they ought to. It's a very human way of expressing a wish for things to be different. Then there's could. This little word opens up the world of possibilities, or sometimes, regret for missed opportunities. Sarah could have chosen to ignore Tom's initial sarcastic remark, and perhaps the argument wouldn't have escalated. Or, Tom could have phrased his opinion more gently, saying, "That movie was sweet, but maybe not my usual style," instead of calling it a chick flick. Could allows us to think about alternative actions, about what was possible but didn't happen. It's often used when we reflect on how a situation could have been handled differently, perhaps with a touch of wistfulness. And what about might? This word introduces a softer possibility, a hint of uncertainty, or a gentle suggestion. When Sarah told Tom he was unbearable, she might have been hoping he would realize how much his words hurt her, rather than just becoming defensive. Tom, when he said Sarah was no saint, might have been trying to point out that they both had faults, hoping to make her see his perspective, even if it came across as an accusation. Might is less certain than could or will. It allows for a bit of doubt, a quiet speculation about intentions or outcomes. It's often used when we're unsure about someone's true motives or about how a situation might unfold. Finally, we have will. This modal verb often expresses a future intention, a prediction, or a firm decision. In the heat of the moment, one of them might have thought, "This conversation will just lead to another argument if we don't calm down." Or, "I will not let him dismiss my feelings like this again." Will can sound very decisive, even a little firm, declaring what is certain to happen or what one intends to do. It gives a sense of determination or inevitability to our words. These modal verbs, weaving themselves into the fabric of our everyday conversations, add so much depth. They allow us to soften a critique, express a strong opinion, or simply ponder how things could or might be. They are not just grammatical structures, they are emotional amplifiers, helping us navigate the subtle dance of human connection and disagreement. They remind us that even the smallest words carry significant weight in how we communicate our deepest thoughts and feelings. Now, after exploring these words and how they dance with our modal verbs, it's time to bring it all together. This is your space, your quiet moment, to practice using these new tools yourself. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but simply to feel the words on your tongue, to connect them with your own thoughts and feelings. Let's try some sentences. I'll say them slowly, and I invite you to repeat them aloud, just after me. Imagine yourself in a similar situation, or simply feel the rhythm of the words. First, thinking about how Tom might have approached the movie. Perhaps Tom should have been more careful with his words, especially when calling it a chick flick. Repeat after me. Perhaps Tom should have been more careful with his words, especially when calling it a chick flick. Next, reflecting on Sarah's feelings about the sarcasm. Sarah might have felt his sarcastic tone was really criticizing her choice of movie. Repeat after me. Sarah might have felt his sarcastic tone was really criticizing her choice of movie. When the tension rose, how did it feel? She felt the argument was becoming unbearable and she wouldn't let it continue that way. Repeat after me. She felt the argument was becoming unbearable and she wouldn't let it continue that way. Now, let's think about being in touch with your feelings If someone is truly in touch with their feelings they could express themselves without being hurtful. Repeat after me. If someone is truly in touch with their feelings they could express themselves without being hurtful. And remembering that nobody is perfect. Even when someone seems perfect, remember, they're no saint. We shouldn't expect perfection from anyone. Repeat after me. Asterisk. Even when someone seems perfect, remember, they're asterisk no saint. We asterisk shouldn't asterisk expect perfection from anyone. Good. Just feeling the sounds and the meanings. Now, for a moment of gentle reflection and personal practice. There's no right or wrong answer here, just your thoughts. You can whisper them aloud, or simply think them in your mind. If you have a journal nearby, this might be a lovely moment to write down your thoughts. Think about a time you've been to a movie, or perhaps a different shared experience, where someone made a comment that felt a little asterisk sarcastic asterisk, or maybe even a little asterisk critical. How did that make you feel? And if you could go back, what asterisk might asterisk you have said, or how asterisk could asterisk you have responded differently? Take a moment to imagine that. Another thought. We talked about being asterisk in touch with your feelings. Do you find it easy to be in touch with your emotions, or is it something you work on? How asterisk could asterisk someone practice being more aware of their feelings in daily life? Perhaps you asterisk could asterisk try to describe your feelings more often throughout your day. And what about those moments when a conversation feels almost asterisk unbearable? What steps asterisk should asterisk we take when communication breaks down like that? What asterisk will asterisk you do differently next time, to perhaps soften the edge or guide the conversation towards understanding? Remember, language isn't just about perfect grammar. It's about expressing our unique human experience, our thoughts, our feelings. These words, like unbearable or sarcastic, carry so much emotion. And the modal verbs, like should and could, help us navigate the nuances of advice, possibility, and regret in our relationships. Keep these words close, and let them help you express your authentic self. As we gently bring our time together to a close today, let's pause and feel into the deeper current beneath all the words we've explored. We've journeyed through the landscape of a movie night and its unexpected aftermath, discovering how language isn't just about sharing information, but about navigating the intricate dance of human connection and understanding. Think about those moments when communication feels almost asterisk unbearable asterisk, when words seem to build walls instead of bridges. It's in those challenging spaces that the true power of language, and indeed, the true work of understanding, begins. It's about finding the right words, yes, but even more, it's about finding the right heart behind those words. And remember our discussion about being asterisk in touch with your feelings. This isn't just a phrase for relationships, it's a way of being. When we are more aware of our own emotions, we can express ourselves more clearly, and perhaps, listen to others with greater empathy. It helps us understand why a simple comment, like calling a movie a chick flick, might carry more weight than intended, or why a asterisk sarcastic asterisk tone can sting. Language, in its essence, is a bridge. It allows us to step into another's experience, to share our own, and to build something new together. Each word we learn, each phrase we practice, adds another plank to that bridge. And it is through these bridges that we truly connect, truly understand, and truly grow. Thank you so much for spending this quiet time with me today, for listening, for reflecting, and for gently practicing your English. If this episode helped you feel a little more confident, a little more at ease with understanding and using English in its beautiful, human context, I would be so grateful if you shared it with someone else who is also learning. Until next time, please take the gentlest care of yourself, and keep learning, one soft whisper at a time.